One of the biggest things that I've been using on the hog farm side is a system called BarnTalk. It's a system that I can monitor conditions inside of my building when I'm not at the building. It's on my phone, it's cellular based, and so I can view, as long as I have internet connection on my phone wherever it is that I'm at, I can view room temperature, water consumption.
Hi, and welcome to Illinois Corn TV. I'm Lindsay Croke, your Illinois Corn Director of Communications and Marketing, and today I am visiting with Chad Bell, who's a hog farmer, a grain farmer, and the owner-operator of Bell Farms. Chad, how are you today?
I'm doing great, Lindsay. How about you?
I'm great too. Thanks for asking. So, I want to just jump right into this interview. I want to talk about technology. We know that technology is always evolving, and I'm sure there's some really cool things you're using on your hog farm, maybe on your grain farm. Can you talk to us about how you're using technology on your farm?
Yeah, one of the biggest things that I've been using on the hog farm side is a system called BarnTalk, and it's a system that I can monitor conditions inside of my building when I'm not at the building. It's on my phone. It's cellular based, and so I can view, as long as I have internet connection on my phone wherever it is that I'm at. I can view room temperature, water consumption, uh, feed bin levels at the barn. I can also view if the power is out or not and my generator is running. Um, those things are new to me within about 2 years ago, probably. And prior to that, I just had an alarm system when I lost water pressure or something went haywire. I would get a voice call from this automated recording telling me kind of what, maybe I lost water pressure, and that 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 tool did not last very long. It didn't work very well, but this one is now on my phone and I can view it anywhere, anytime, any place, and peace of mind that when I'm not at the barn that I know everything's okay.
Was there a big learning curve to learning a whole new system like that for you?
No, actually not. It's literally just an app on my phone, and it's just little tiles on the screen that shows, okay, west room temperature is 75, east room temperature 70, water consumption 300 gallons. So it's there's not a lot of frills, I guess you could say, to it. You can set parameters where if the room temperature gets too high or too cold, it'll notify you straight on your phone through the app. And if you, for some reason, happen to ignore it, or maybe you were sleeping and didn't hear your phone going off, that eventually you would get a phone call saying, "Hey, you need to take care of this." And so it's been one of the game changers, I would say, for me, more or less just from the management side of when I'm not at the building in the daytime. I've been notified after a high wind event that I had a room temperature that was cold, and I knew right away after experiencing that a couple different times that I had a broken current cable, and I was letting a lot of cold air in that I shouldn't have been. So I knew I needed to go over there and see what was going on and get the problem addressed.
I love that this technology really empowers animal care, animal comfort, and I know that's a story that people who are distanced from the farm are really interested in hearing. Talk to me about how you talk to people who don't understand agriculture. I know that's a passion of yours.
Yeah, I just like to post a lot of videos and pictures to Facebook and TikTok are kind of the two primary platforms that I'm on. Um, I just like to show what's going on inside the building, or what's going on the farm, on the grain farming side, and just put some humor behind it. I think people can relate to humor. People don't want to see the document. I shouldn't say they don't want to see it, but I can personally relate more to someone that shows who they are as a person and their personality, and not just go and say, "Hey, these were the pigs. This is the feed bin. This is how we do it." You try to get it down to a personal level, and show people that you are, an average everyday person that just happened to choose agriculture as your career path and your passion. And so being able to show people what it is that I do every day is, and hopefully I learn just as much from people that are outside of farming than I do than I hope they do from me. And there's a lot of things that I don't know. I want to know why people think the way that they do, and maybe they think negatively about uh, livestock farming or row crop farming, and I just kind of want to know where they're at and where they come from. That way, if there's a way I can potentially relate to them or help change their mind, or at least get them to think a little bit differently about why it is they think the way they do.
Yeah, I definitely think that one of the strengths of what you are doing on social media is the authenticity that you bring, the genuineness of really letting people see who you are. Have you had any really surprising comments or any interesting conversations that have resulted because of the videos and the comments you posted?
Yeah, so my Facebook page really took off a couple of years ago from the pig farming side, and I get so many comments on Facebook and TikTok from people living in foreign countries. And that, I always knew, livestock farming is global. It's everywhere. But it didn't really resonate much with me until I was getting questions and comments from people from all across the globe and showing me what their operation looked like. And we think of modern day pig farming here in a heated building and technology and this and that, and other places across the world, I wouldn't say they're behind or anything. It's just the way that they've always raised pigs, and they're just intrigued with how we do things here in the United States, and they want advice on rations or how to set up a building or just various things of the production cycle. And so that's been kind of one of the more eye-opening things, is just learning more about how people are doing it in other countries. It's just been amazing to see where we are compared to other countries.
It really is a global marketplace and a global society here. Just
Yeah.
as a reminder, correct me if I'm wrong, but Illinois is the fourth largest hog export state. Is that correct?
That sounds pretty close.
Yeah. So I think 1 out of every 4 hogs or something that we, produce is leaving our country as meat for another country, so,
Hmm.
um, that's a really fun statistic, and probably gives you a lot of value or satisfaction in the job that you're doing.
Yeah.
So, what's one piece of advice that you really wish you had gotten when you first started your farm?
Well, if you can see a little bit of gray hair starting on me, I'm not getting any younger, and that's one piece of advice that I should say I wasn't really given. But looking back, if someone were to ask me for advice, I would say, if you're interested in raising livestock, start at a young age, um, because it's not easy work. It's time consuming. It's physically demanding, and so I'm not getting any younger. So I wished I would have started raising pigs sooner than what I did, and that would be a piece of advice from anyone, or for anyone that is interested. If you're interested, just do it. Get going.
Why did the farmer start a podcast?
I don't know.
He wanted to hog the airways.
That's
Yeah, that's a good one,
pretty
right?
good.
All right, Chad, it was such a delight to chat with you today. Thank you so much for spending this time with us, and thank you for everything that you do to represent Illinois farmers.
Yes, thank you very much, Lindsay.